Okay, all right. Here it is. My review for Inhumans Season 1. Now, I gave a review for the first 2 episodes, the first 2 hours, because they showed it in IMAX, and I went to go see it in IMAX. I made up my mind I was going to see that when they first announced it almost a year earlier. But in my review for that first 2 episodes, I told people to avoid it and wait till it comes on television. You do not want to spend your money for something that's just meh. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't terrible. Well, actually, I enjoyed the first half an hour. The setup. You get to see Andalin and you get to see the Inhumans, how they live on the moon. And after that, man, the show just got terrible. I think what they did was they split them up too fast. What you wanted to do is, I would have saved everybody getting split up and sent to Earth and Hawaii for the last 10 minutes of the show, probably. The last 10 minutes. But once that happened after the first hour, it was just like, what am I watching? It wasn't worth seeing in IMAX. No, it looked crisp. The visuals were beautiful, but there wasn't too much beautiful action or scenery in the film. You know, it just looked great. Like, you could tell it was shot with high-def IMAX cameras. But anyway, skipping along. The whole series. Just finished watching the finale not too long ago. And I have to say, for the whole series, I'm kind of in the middle. And this is the reason why. The show started to get better after, like, episode 3, I would say. My favorite episodes or times of the show was the first half an hour of the first show and the last 2 episodes. There is a lot of stuff in between those 8 episodes that was actually quite fun and enjoyable. But you never know what you're going to get until you see the show. Now, me knowing these characters, I've read Inhuman comics, mainly the old ones. I dabbled in some of the, 90s and 2000 comics. But the thing is, these characters are so powerful that what we saw in the show does them no justice. Now, yes, Black Bolt has this amazing voice, this power. He can emit these sound waves from his voice that could crush planets and everything like that. But I've seen Black Bolt materialize a bridge out of pure energy. So that him, Medusa, Triton, Karnak, and Black Panther could walk across the ocean or something like that. The dude's strong enough to uppercut the Hulk into the atmosphere. He can fly. He can manipulate energy. His tuning fork on his costume helps him to control how much energy he puts out and takes in or something like that. But in the show, it's like, if you can't do that stuff and you're doing these characters, you have to have them being absolutely cool for comic fans. If comic fans rally behind it like, oh, it's trash, you better hope that general public, which is the majority of the people who's going to see this, like the show. So good story is always the best thing to have for any show or any movie. Good story, because if the effects suck, at least people can say, "But I was intrigued." That happens with everything, especially people who go back and watch older stuff. Like if you give somebody Star Wars, A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie, and show them now, if the story's good enough, they're gonna say, "Hey, that was epic," because the special effects in there are just really, I wouldn't say really dated. They're actually pretty good for what they accomplished back at that time, what they could do with special effects. But anyway, back to the Inhumans. The series as a whole, I really came to like Medusa. Karnak, he had some cool moments whenever he used his powers in a way that I was more familiar with. And once they start working, Gorgon, I just had a hard time getting on board with him. Yes, he has those, legs, and it's just, man, whatever. Maximus in the comics is a really cunning, and he's a tech genius. He's a genius, and he's good with technology, and inventing. But at the same time, I believe he also attained mind control powers at one point. That can probably happen in the show later on. But this Maximus, and we know this dude is Ramsay from Game of Thrones. There was moments where I saw his acting ability that we saw in Game of Thrones come through. He was probably the best thing in the show at first. I like Black Bolt. I like the character Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt. He was cool. I like the fact that he did such a good job without even having to speak, But overall, the series was just it was okay. It was okay. I was expecting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Inhuman-like. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is way better than Inhumans. I have to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got better as the series went on, but I really enjoyed the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think the first and second season was really good to me. You know, a lot of people like season like 3, 4, but I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Agents of Shield, and it blows us out the water. The writing was just better on Agents of Shield, and it shows those Whedon brothers know what they're doing. I think Jed Whedon was, really on the show more than Josh Whedon, but Josh Whedon was like executive producer or something like that. But they know what they're doing, and the writing in Agents of Shield was way better. Now, like other shows like The Gifted, if you can't do mutants, and Inhumans are like mutants, they really are. It's just another race of beings with superpowers, and them being Inhumans and the Terrigen Mist is a way of them getting their powers. If you can't do them right, don't do them at all. But if you're gonna do it and chance doing them, the story has to be good. Now, I found out the first 2 episodes were directed, and the showrunner on the first 2 episodes. I don't know about the rest of the season. I said I was going to check that out, but I didn't check it out. I'm sorry. I'm doing this review before that. But it was directed, and the show was being ran by the same guy who was the showrunner on Iron Fist for Netflix, and it shows because it's just it looks like a new project. You know what I mean? Medusa was cool. After she lost her hair, I was just like, oh man, why the hell did they do that? That was a little bit too quick. But she was cool. Her character development and the woman she met was cool. I was glad to see Triton come back. He didn't stay dead. Spoilers if you didn't watch the series yet. I tell some people to give it a try. I live tweet doing shows, and I saw a lot of people actually enjoying this show. A lot of people was enjoying it. A lot of people weren't, but there was a lot of people enjoying it. And I was enjoying some moments of the show. So it had some moments. They really got to come strong if they don't get canceled. If they get a second season, you got to do bigger and better. Now, the reason the last 2 episodes were some of my favorite episodes is because they went back to Antolin, and they was really taking on Maximus. It wasn't they're on Earth and I got to hunt them down. We're all scattered out. They all back together again. That's what I liked about it. And I think that's just where the writing was its best, when everybody was on screen together or in the same area and they had to interact with each other. I don't know, man. I say the writing was okay at moments, but I don't. It just seems like so much of it just seemed like a bunch of new. It just looks like the show is new. The writers, the showrunner, it looks like all of them are doing this for the first time. But sometimes people first project, they blow it out the water, and then we all like, I can't wait to see what they do next. But not on this one, man. It just wasn't working for me. I mean, I hope it gets better. I like these characters. I don't know if people know a lot about the Inhumans or they don't like them. I do. I like the Inhumans. I like Black Bolt. I like Karnak. I like Medusa. So I would really like to see this show get better. If they get a season 2, please do better. Man, it's I'm wondering. I think the television route is still the best route for any superhero film project, because you can get so much more story out. Like, we got 8 hours of Inhumans, and that's half of the whole Marvel movie collection. 8 hours, you know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to do it right. That's all I'm saying. And TV don't get as big budget as these movies. I mean, it's not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones gets this big budget because they're hoping that the ratings is high, or the ratings is high as #1 watch show on television. You get the big budget. But I wish they had a bigger budget on this so they could just do the Inhumans justice. Now, I don't want to just see powers being displayed all the time, but a lot, yeah. And you need a good story behind it. You can't have their powers looking good and some great special effects and a bad story. It's not going to work. So I just need the showrunners to get on it, to do better with the show. I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed the first half an hour. The first episode was one of my favorites, and then the last 2 episodes, those were like my favorites. There were some episodes in between, but as you can see from my review, it's just hard to talk about this thing because this thing needed a lot of work. It really did. And I hope it doesn't get canceled, because I want to see them go further with these characters. It'd be a shame if it gets canceled, man. I'd really like to see this show prosper. But oh well. We'll see what happens. That's my review. What you guys think? Leave some comments. Write down in the description what you thought of the show. If you agree with me that you think it needs work. Do you think it was better than what I'm leading on? Or that it was? Or do you think it was worse? Come on, we can talk about it here. Alright, see you next time.